Welcome to the Bubba Army YouTube channel.
Hulk Hogan is on the phone.
What's up, Hollywood?
Hoodie up.
We were talking about you a few minutes ago about how people that tattoo their significant others' names on their fingers, how'd that work out for you?
Oh, what a nightmare. Good God. I swear to God, I think I need to take a razor blade and just cut that name off my finger.
Well, yeah.
And then sew it back up.
Now, you're in the process of getting it removed, but it's not going so swell, or what?
Well, I've been going to this place, and this lady's done like 5 or 6 laser treatments, but she's not hitting it. I've talked to some other people that said, there's another laser person at Palm Harbor. They said if they took 5 passes at it, it'd be gone. So
Come on, Hoodie.
I gotta switch gears.
Just get some coarse sandpaper.
Yeah, let's
Be gone in about 5 minutes.
Let's do it Port Tampa style, my friend. Get Big Steve over there with somewhat of one of those disc grinders. You're after all, Hogan, you're the guy that goes to the dentist with no Novocaine. You refuse to take Novocaine, and when the dentist is drilling your big old choppers, tears start coming down your eyes, and you start gripping the chair and what have you. What's a little belt sander on the left finger?
Well, the last time I went to the dentist, I took some Novocaine. I stepped back in it because they found a cavity underneath my gum line, so they had to cut the gum away. And when they sliced the first slice, I said, whoa, brother, hold on here.
I went with him one time, Brent, to the dentist, and he goes, have you ever seen a person cry because they're in so much pain, but they're not really crying? I go, no. And he goes, watch this. And he had to do a crown or something like that, and they didn't Novocaine him, and he just gripped the chair. And then all these tears start coming down his eyes because he refuses to take Novocaine. And they're drilling, and you can smell the drill and the smoke and the thing, And Hogan's got probably a little bigger teeth than most people because he's so big. And he doesn't take Novocaine like a real crazed animal.
Hey, the favorite part of your show now that I love the most is when Spice Boy imitates you.
Yeah, that's a world of fun. Hey man, I gotta tell you hi. I was over at TNA on Tuesday, and Scott Steiner told me to tell you hi, and Big Sexy told me to tell you hi. Stinger, Mick Foley, Kurt, they're all putting you over. Want to know they all wanted to know how you were doing.
Oh wow, that's wild.
And Mick Foley had, Brent, think about this. Mick Foley had a very interesting point. He's very smart.
Very,
very smart. Now, Terry, how close are you with Mick?
I've only talked to him a couple times, but it's just not too many times.
I mean, you guys never really wrestled in the same circles. I mean, you guys' eras never really were. Like he was with Vince when you were with Turner, and then vice versa.
Well, we were wrestling during the same era. We just were in different places.
That's what I'm saying.
Weird things.
Now, but Mick was in the back, Brent, and he said, "Hey, you know what? How's Terry doing?" I go, "He's doing. He's going to be okay." So when it's all said and done, and he can only fend for himself, and these things get settled, he'll be okay. He goes, is he going to do a book? And I said, I think he is going to do a book. And he said, well, I think he has touched part of America that we're never wrestling fans. So if you're not a wrestling fan, obviously you know who Hulk Hogan is, but you don't know the ins and the outs and the inner workings. He goes, but I think actually in the midst of how bad all this is, he's probably touched a lot of people that he never would have before, a lot of Americana. I was like, you're probably right on that.
Well, through the tough times, I could have went the low road, the deal, the Port Tampa style, O.J. Simpson style, but instead I chose to take the high road. So through these troubled times, a lot of people come up and go, well, how can you deal with this, and how can you handle it, and how can you be disrespected in your own town, and da-da-da-da. So, well, you just got to take the high road, but there's a lot more to it than that. But, I think there's a lot to be learned from tough times and tough situations. They're thinning out the herd, my brother.
Now, I think Jennifer has started to work out with Heather. I think they're starting to work out together.
Yeah, well, she really enjoyed going over there and working out.
Yeah, there's only one person who never makes it to the Clem Gym, and that's you.
Yeah. Hey, easy, brother. Well, I just got my elbow cut on, so I'm trying to get all these, because my whole body, it's more than just my back, and this thing that Mr. St. Louis did over there at the Laser Spine Clinic, it's just like a temporary fix. We don't know how long it's going to last. I'm trying to get all the other stuff kind of fixed, because you see how stiff I walk. I just had my elbow cut on. They pulled out you wait till you see all the holes they put in my arm. Not really holes, they're cuts. It's not a usual scope thing. They pulled out this 1-inch piece of bone out of my forearm.
1 inch.
Broke. And then they pulled out 3 bone spurs that were the size of quarters. And then now I got to get my other elbow done, then I got to go back and get both knees done because, I can't bend my knees all the way. So I'm just trying to get things fixed where I can, keep rolling. And the funny part was Linda's lawyer last month. He goes, well, Mr. Hogan, you didn't have the serious spine surgery. I said, brother, I don't know what you know about back surgery. Anytime they put you on a table and they knock you out for 2 hours and they go up and down your spine, just cleaning the whole thing out, that's serious to me. But he was making a joke out of it,
Now, let me ask you a question. Turnabout's fair, or heat, I should say, is fair play. And when you had your own gym, had I not worked out for a year and a half at your gym, you would have gotten so much heat with me. It would have been pathetic. You've worked out 2 times in the Clem gym.
No, don't go down that road because you totally crossed the line with me anyway with that crap.
What do you mean?
Because instead of, working out with your own gym a couple times and not coming over, that would have been one thing if you gradually would have gracefully switched gears on me. But when you just stopped coming over, I said, what's going on? You go, oh, well, I've got my own crew now, and they're over there every day. Brent's there every day training. He'll never miss a workout, Brent.
I never said that.
You just totally switched gears and disappeared on me. It was like
I had to get out of there. There was too much.
It was like you gracefully bowed out and
hold on, Hogan.
You just bitch slapped me and walked
Listen
out.
Listen to me. I love you. You want
Hogan with a strong retort.
Hold on. Listen to my retort now, ladies and gentlemen. My best friend, by the way, who I'm arguing with. Hogan, I think I'm quite the visionary. I saw the heat. There was too much heat in that house. I had to get out of there while the getting was good.
Well, you should have taken me with you if I was such a good friend.
Did you see the latest where I heard that Linda is going to? Hogan, this is Judge Greer, your judge, has to be just so mad.
He's got to be over it.
They're making a mockery of the system. I heard now. Because I've been with you quite a bit after your back surgery, and you have this one particular crutch, and as your back starts hurting, you start using it more and more, but you try to walk normally. But as the evening wears on, Brent, he'll start leaning on his crutch a little bit more as he's getting tired and his back starts. But there are times where he'll put the crutch underneath his arm and try to put, 15, 20, 30 steps together, okay? But the crutch is there in case he either loses his balance or he's getting tired, okay? And she now you can tell me if this is true or not. I saw it in the news that your lovely wife, Linda Hogan, she's now going to go in front of the judge and make some kind of issue about these crutches and the fact that you shouldn't be wearing them, or you're trying to get sympathy from the public, or what's the latest on that? And have you heard that as well?
No, I just got a call yesterday that there was something about me holding my crutches in the air, and at the end of the day, Brooke was coming on stage in Miami, and the doctor told me, as I move through the days and the weeks, to try to put as much weight as I can, on my lower back, but do not compress it. Like you can't put a squat rack bar on your shoulders,
right.
Or you can't, carry, do shrugs with 80-pound dumbbells in each arm. But he said, as you've had this laser spine surgery, you're going to walk out of here today because we've got you all drugged up, to numb the pain in your back. But by tomorrow, you need to start walking on crutches, and then gradually, as you're moving through the day, try to, probably by the end of the day, as you're upright, the weight's going to get hard on your back, and so I wean myself off those crutches, But at the end of the day, the picture they got is I was down in Miami supporting my daughter, as she was performing at Calle Ocho. Her mother wasn't there. No one else was there. And when my daughter came on stage, I was cheering her on, leaning on something or balancing on my feet for a few minutes, but it wasn't like I was running a sprint or a marathon.
So she's going to go in front of the judge for what? What is she trying to say?
You know what? They asked for my medical records, and I beg them to go look at my back. If you take a picture of a normal spine that's perfectly straight, and after this laser spine surgery, if you look at my back, all bent, the vertebrae shuffled, everything broken, and as I'm sitting here right now, all they did was clean it out. It mechanically has not been lined up again. I can feel it shuffling and stuff popping right now, so I'm eventually going to need the steel rods, the steel plates. I should have done it now, but I was buying some time trying to get back on my feet. Even when I get up, the funny part is even when I get up in the morning to go to the bathroom, my knees and my hips are so stoved up. Instead of being able to sit up on the end of the bed and walk, I'm not trying to be, weird about this, but I shuffle my feet, sliding, trying to get to the restroom so I don't pee all over myself because I just can't get up and start walking. It takes me a while to get going. So I could care less what Linda's lawyer says. I have to get my body.
But why would you have to go in front of a judge?
Yeah, what does that have to do with anything?
To try to say,
Brother,
I don't get it.
She's got bigger problems with that. We're going in front of the judge Thursday because she wants me to put Charlie on all of our insurance. At the end of the day, she's the one that has all these cars underinsured. I'm sure 50 cents, 25 cents get more insurance than I do. She's only got, I think it's $250,000. It could have been raised by now. I've been trying to get everything raised. It could have been raised up $500 per car.
Well, good luck on her.
No, but listen, she had the cars insured for only $250,000, and she's wanting Charlie to drive all my vehicles. He's getting suspended licenses, speeding tickets, running red lights, seatbelt violations. Pull Charlie Hill's driving record up, bro.
Let me ask you a question. Hold on. You're going to try to tell me. Hold on. You're going to try to tell me that she's got the moxie to. I don't care if you like you or not. She's got the moxie to go in front of the judge, and say, Your Honor, this is my 19. Maybe he's 20 now. This is my 20-year-old boyfriend. And I am going to ask for you to rule in my favor. I'm going to see if I got this right or not. So that you make my husband, who's still my husband, who I'm divorcing, pay for more insurance that we have currently bound for him and I, so that I can add my 19 or 20-year-old boyfriend on the policies. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but it's worse than that. Not only does she want Charlie to drive the cars with only $250,000 limit, and it could be up to $500 now. That's not enough insurance because of the Graziano situation. What if Charlie runs a red light, hits Brent and Amanda, and pray to God it never happens.
Right.
Somebody gets hurt or killed, Brent or Amanda, who do you think they're going to sue?
You.
Okay. What if Charlie Hill's in the car and he gets, he turns into a quadriplegic or he gets hurt driving my car? Who's he going to sue?
You.
I seriously doubt the judge or the court is going to put me in that spot. But let me tell you something. It's worse than that. Not only is Charlie Hill driving my cars and my boats, this weekend I saw this old-timer named Pat that used to run the Sea Screamer. He's driving my Donzi all over the place. And then at night I see him driving around my Escalade.
Spice, how would you like to be? In matter of fact,
so she's letting all the dock rats drive my vehicle.
I don't know how you haven't killed her. I swear to God, I say that all kidding aside. I don't know how you haven't killed her.
Hogan calls me up, Brent, on Sunday, and he says, "Bubba, what am I to do? I'm on the Clearwater Causeway, and I'm headed home, and I just looked over, and there is a guy that I guess he's later found out it was this other dude. There is a guy that's driving my boat that's in my name." My Donzi that is insured in my name, and I don't know who it is. What am I?
It's this guy Pat. He used to be the captain from the Sea Screamer.
What am I to do?
And then later that night, I saw him driving my Escalade around.
What am I to do, Manson? What would you do if this was Donna doing this to you? I mean, I can't say that I wouldn't kill the bitch.
I wouldn't go that far, but it'd be pretty frustrating.
I mean, now Hogan, in layman type, simple Reader's Digest type terms, without all the legal mumble jumble, can you have whoever's arguing your case for you, Gina Hunter or Ann, I don't know, can you have them tell the judge in this most simplest form just exactly what you told us?
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to Thursday. I'm going to have to, but it's ridiculous,
I mean, you are in this, little bit of a situation, due to a car accident on a vehicle that was in, you or your sons or what have not, insured by you and your wife. So it's not too much of a stretch to say that something bad could happen to a car that anybody in this room or listening to this show could be driving and get into a mishap and then intensify the litigation and the litigiousness by a zillion when you're Hulk Hogan and they think that there's a little bit of money left. I mean, I would like to.
At the end of the day, Nick's 18 years old and he's got his own insurances and he's got his own situation, and because of the accident, Nick's doing his own thing, with his work permit for driving and all that stuff. But to put Charlie Hill, who's not a family member, and like I said, when you look at his driving record, suspended licenses, 3 speeding tickets, 3 red light violations, 3 seatbelt violations, and he's only, I don't know what he is now. Is he 19 or 20?
Either or.
But he's had his license just a couple of years, and to have those many violations, and for the court to put me in that situation, for him driving my cars that are underinsured by my wife, because she ran all the business and did all the insurances, she underinsured the cars, to put me in that position if Charlie Hill wrecks one of my cars or hits somebody on a jet ski with my boat, or now this other guy I saw driving, Pat, who actually Pat has his boat hanging on my lift behind the big house. What if someone gets hurt getting on and off the boat? You know, it's just ridiculous.
I want to be in that courtroom.
No regard for safety or liability. And at the end of the day, if Charlie Hill hits somebody driving one of my cars and hurts somebody, they're not going to sue Charlie Hill. He don't have a boy. He may have a pot to piss, and now he's with Linda. But anyway, they're going to sue me, of course. And then if Charlie Hill gets hurt driving one of my cars, who do you think he's going to sue? So I can't even imagine the judge or the court putting me in that position with what's happened with the Graziano.
I would love to be in that courtroom, Brent, whatever day it is this week, and see because Judge.
It's Thursday, brother. It's Thursday.
Brent, I may send a correspondence over there because I would like to see Judge Greer's if he's able to be explained this situation without a bunch of legal mumble jumble and ejections, and he truly knows that this is the way it's all shaken down. I want to see him, historically a very conservative judge, but one that usually makes the right decisions, as he did with the Terry. I mean, I don't really know much about the guy, but I do know this: he was the only guy that had the balls to make the right decision on Terry Schiavo, and was subsequently overruled by our governor and eventually our president.
But the courts upheld his ruling over those two. Exactly.
And I want to see his reaction when Linda Bolea / Linda Hogan's attorneys say, Your Honor, we would like you to, as the judge, make Mr. Terry Bolea, one Hulk Hogan, pay an additional however many $1,000 per year so that Linda's 19/20-year-old boyfriend, who has a ton of moving violations and what have not, can be insured on their policy, and he is allowed to drive the vehicles of his choosing, from the boats to the motorcycles to the cars to the SUVs. That you grant that permission. I'd like to see that.
Oh, brother, it's getting even crazy. I was hoping, like in wrestling, we could break clean and go to our individual corners with no kids and no custodies. I was hoping that we could just go ahead and split the money. She's got a new lawyer now, and he's going to probably pick up another $1 million off Linda and throw the money to him. I mean, they're subpoenaing all kind of people like Cecil Barker, who I've never done business with. He did business with Brooke, and just all kind of stuff.
So they're going to try to get testimony from the guy that owned the record label that Brooke's on. What relevance is that to you?
The funny part is they're flying out to California to do depositions on different people. They're flying up to New York to do depositions, like with William Morrison. I was with William Morrison only 1 year, because Peter Young was my agent, and I did that one deal in the Celebrity Championship Wrestling. That's it. But they're flying all over, taking all these depositions. We even get 2 subpoenas yesterday for Jennifer. So, I mean, Jennifer, she's got nothing but the truth on her side, so I can't wait for this.
Oh, hold on, man. What they don't realize is you can't get Jennifer on the stand fast enough.
But what they don't realize is I was hoping all this stuff would pass, and I'm going to end with this thing. I went to that Cooter's bar on the beach about 2 months ago.
Hogan hanging out at Cooter's.
And I happened to sit down with Charlie's best friend, Brian,
right?
That lives with this kid named Tim Stacy. Mm-hmm. And over a few beers, Brian told me all the inside scoops, brother, of what's going on. And so at the end of the day, you want to play this game? All right, we'll mount up, Linda Hogan. Get ready to rock the house, brother.
Now, don't hang up, because I got one question for you. I don't want you I don't want you to be getting worked. Okay. You're the ultimate worker.
Yeah, I got you.
Your wrestling skills were decent, but you'd be the first one. The promotion and the be able to cut a promo and being a worker is what made you what you are today. Somebody brought this up to my attention. Now, it's very unethical and it's very illegal, Brent, and I wouldn't think that Linda Hogan or Bolea would be participating in this, and nor would her attorney. I want to give both of them much more credit than that. This is simply my opinion. But Hogan, again, you got to come from the cynical kabuki side of life like you do, and you got to kind of cynically think about what people's ulterior motives are at all times, as you have all through, when you got your good run going and we became very famous, is that, all too often when we'd be hanging out, you'd tell me, always analyze, and that's now transferred to my boys, Manson and Spice and Brent. Try to analyze why people are trying to be nice to you and what they may want on the backside. Have you ever considered that maybe Linda knows that what the truth is, and that there really is no hidden money in offshore accounts, and that this constant grinding and churning of the case, as this is classic Churn 101, is so that nobody can dispute legal fees. I mean, that's one thing that that's just our court system's never going to rule against an attorney in trying to recoup legal fees, and especially in a marriage, divorce. They're just not gonna. You can certainly argue some of the amounts sometimes, but in hours. But they're always going to grant the attorney his fees because they are officers of the court, and it's kind of the good old boy system. Have you ever thought maybe? And again, Hogan, this is only my opinion. I want to make sure that I say that Linda has cut a deal with one of these attorneys by saying just keep churning it and churning it and churning it because the judge in the court system may not allow Terry to give me additional money, but they will never not let you get paid as the attorney. And after it's all said and done, she gets a backside rebate. And
anything's possible.
And that came from an attorney. That came from an attorney that told me that has been done before. Backside rebates.
Of course, it's been done,
especially on high profile, 7-figure type deals like we're involved in now. Now, hey, I want to make sure that I say this is only my opinion. Have you?
Yeah. Well, the last attorney, Branco, walked away with over $1 million, and we actually. And I never banter back in court, but I actually couldn't hold my tongue when we were talking about the money last month, and all of a sudden her new lawyer, Rafel, said something about that's why Hogan's hoarding the money. We're appalled that he spent $1 million defending his son. I mean, give me a break. And when they said that, in open court, which I shouldn't have done, I just spoke up and looked at Linda's attorney, and I said to him, I said, boy, you probably wish you had $1 million. And he said, I sure do. And I said, well, you probably will pretty soon. And he said, I hope so. So, he's got his sights set. He doesn't want this case to settle now. He wants to get all of his fees. He wants to get about another $1 million from Linda. So you're exactly right. They're churning this thing now. She's cut deals on the backside. I have no idea. That's just.
Let me ask you a question. You're trying to say that he got
knows, brother, but it's just so far out of hand. It's so ridiculous.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
He in open court belittled you and questioned and made you the bad guy because you paid for Nick's legal?
Well, no, they stated once again, every time they get a chance in open court, they state their position that Linda has no responsibility for the pending, court case with John Graziano, the pending, judgment, whatever that could be.
Right.
And they keep stating that, and they said, well, Mr. Blair's got this money, and it's basically frozen accounts, and it's all marital assets. Linda and I both own 50-50 of the money. But in open court, the last time Rafel said, yeah, the money this and the money that, and we're basically appalled that he spent over $1 million defending his son, And, I mean, this is my son, right or wrong, he's my blood. I'm going to do whatever I can to protect him. And I just looked at, Linda's lawyer, which I shouldn't have said a thing. I said, I bet you wish you had $1 million. And he goes, yeah, I sure do. And I said, well, you probably will pretty soon. He goes, I hope so.
Now,
he's running his fees up, but they made their, and that's how I got in the argument with him. After the trial, he started, doing an interview, and the press was asking him, Bay News 9 and all the news channels were asking him, well, you're, legally, what's your situation with the Graziano? And he started saying legally, well, we'll have to see what the court says. We don't know if my client, her position is she's not responsible for any of this or any of that. And that's when I just said, well, what about morally? What about morally? John Graziano was an extended part of our family. He was like a big brother to Nick. He was with us 24/7 because he had a hard time with his family situation. How do you feel morally? And that's when the guy went crazy and told me to shut up. It wasn't a free country. I can't talk. And I was on crutches a couple days after back surgery. Well, do you want to wrestle me? And he just got way out of line.
Now, man, so let me ask you a question. You and Donna get a divorce, and you're in a court and you're battling it out. Prior to your divorce or in the midst of your separation, Trace gets in trouble. You defend Trace, right or wrong. You defend Trace to the nth degree, and it costs you a lot of money. Do you think in a million years that your wife in the open court would say, screw you, Manson, and you're a bad guy because you paid for our son's attorney fees?
I don't know what kind of person says that. I can't fathom it.
I can't either. I can't wrap my head around it, as Howard would say.
Brother, right or wrong, I mean, this is your child. Right or wrong, you need to step in and, try to help your son, and I just don't get it. I don't get it, even if I made a wrong decision.
Now, let me ask you a question.
What if I hired the wrong lawyers? What if I did everything wrong? Still, I was trying to help my son, but their position is I shouldn't have been paying for his legal fees, especially when he turned 18 in jail. They were appalled that he's an adult, and I was helping him, with his situation. It's just so far out of line. It's ridiculous.
But it's okay.
Match that with the phone call, that Brooks, the message that Brooks' phone got hacked.
Right.
From that gangster.com website, where Linda and Charlie kept talking after Linda thought she hung up. I mean, you just see what's going on with her,
So let me see. If I was Judge Greer today, I'd say, okay, let me see if I get this straight. So you're mad at Hogan and you've belittled him and you've called him a piece of crap because he paid for your son's legal in the midst of his problems. But and that's bad. And Hogan's a bad guy and he's a dildo. But you're asking me as the judge to grant you more additional dollars per month to add your boyfriend to the health, to the insurance. I don't get it,
dude. It's even more than that. It's just to put me in this position again, where if Charlie, with his bad driving record, he's not even a family member. If he wrecks the car, what happens then? What happens then? And look at his driving record, and there's a probability he's going to run a red light or get a speeding ticket. If you look at his record. If he wrecks the car, I'm in the John Graziano situation again, except Charlie has the luxury of suing me also for millions of dollars because he was driving my car. And you
can't. They're trying to throw
that Charlie had a bad record and I should let him drive the car. I'm telling you now, I don't want him driving the car, especially all these other dock rats stay out on the boat drinking all day. I don't want them driving my cars either. I mean,
they're trying to put you in a trick bag.
They used to be the captain of the Sea Screamer, Pat, driving my boat. And I'm trying to keep Charlie from driving my boat. I saw Pat drive. I saw him with my own eyes driving my boat. And then later that night, I saw him driving my Escalade. My God, she's letting everybody drive my car.
What is it? Is it a modern-day flop house at 130 Willowdale? What's going on?
Well, brother, you figure it out, man. It's not too hard to figure out. Well, I tell you what, off the record, Charlie's best friend, Brian, gave me some inside scoops, brother. Game on, Linda Hogan.
Did any of the authorities pick up the phone and talk to Mr. Farmer about what he talked about on my show?
Dude, I don't know where that went. I mean, Kristen's back in rehab now. She's in rehab now for the fourth time, and one of the things that launched this whole situation was her, like she said, hanging with Linda, drinking 3 days and smoking pot with Linda over there. So Kristen Farmer's back in rehab, and I'm appalled by it. But you know what? That's the game they play over there at Willowdale.
Spice, what is it about Linda Hogan that she's allowed to? I mean, you live in this community. You know the younger generation, by these infamous dock rats that Hogan speaks of. How, if I was, first of all, I'm not even as high profile as Linda. If rumor had it that I was doing the things that she's doing, and the flophouse type mentality that she's got at 130 Willowdale, and all, I mean, there's no way I'd be allowed to continue. Why is she allowed to continue to do this?
I don't know, man. And on top of that, this past weekend, I had somebody out there. Well, I'm not gonna say I had somebody out there, but somebody out there was snapping pictures of her partying her ass off again with all these youngsters.
I got
brother. I had people calling me from Shepherd saying she was so.
You're exactly right.
Drunk walking around at Shepherd Saturday. Yep. She was dropping her phone and falling down and hoochie dancing. I mean, I don't even ask, and people calling me from Shepherd's when she's out there just.
Now, here's what I don't understand. I got calls. I'm just going to be honest with you. I got calls, Brent, that she had. I got 2 phone calls. One of them, his Ang Mizzen.
Right.
That works at Shepherd's.
Who knows?
And he said, man, they got probably 9 or 10 people on this deck boat, young kids that are just drinking, and they're visibly drinking. We can't do anything because they're not on Shepherd's
property.
Property.
They're not law enforcement.
No, they're not law. Is there not Marine Patrol out there? Hell, me and Hogan used to drive to and from, and we would get, we'd see a ton of them.
There's Coast Guards or sheriffs.
What's going on? I don't understand.
Brother, you know what?
I don't get it.
It's all going to wash out in the end. Water finds its own level. Believe me. It's all going to wash out in the end.
All right, my man. Well, thinking about you, and I'm worried about you.
No, don't worry about me, brother. It's all right already, man. We're cool. We're way cool.
All right, my man. Hey, did you watch WrestleMania 25?
No, I didn't, bro. I didn't. I texted Vince and told him to kick butt that night, and I didn't watch it, but sure wish I'd have been there.
I saw the Mickey Rourke angle with Jericho.
How'd that work? I did not see that.
It was interesting because Rourke, it really, to me, when he hopped in the ring, it really showed to me how exactly juiced up he was for the role in The Wrestler.
Right.
And then how he really shrunk down for, the WrestleMania deal. But it was a funny angle. It was good.
And Hogan, I had dinner with Hogan, after the Artie Lang show, and he talked about that Wrestler script had been given to him 4 times. Had it not, Terry?
Well, it passed by my agent. It was an option, but I already knew that, me doing a Wrestler movie, people would fart at it. But somebody like Mickey Rourke, who was a good actor that's got nothing to do with wrestling, if he did a good job, they'd put the spotlight on it, which thank God he did a great job. I did the wrestling movie, No Holds Barred, rip them, and I got killed for me playing a wrestler, so I knew better. But I saw the script, 4 times. It came by my way, and I looked at it and I read it, and it was okay, and it was pretty close to life, but it was only like a one-dimensional snapshot of what the whole business is about. But that one-dimensional snapshot was pretty much right on.
Now, of course, I was only, I think, like 7 or 8 when No Holds Barred came out, but I enjoyed it.
Now, Hogan,
you swear, and I could get away with it back then. But for Hulk Hogan to go play a wrestler,
right,
it wouldn't work.
Hogan, let me ask you a question. It was very much like I think the movie was written with you in mind.
Yeah, brother. In my opinion, and I'm not trying to be pompous, I think the movie was written. The movie was basically written pretty much about me, is how I feel. That's my own personal opinion. With him dropping the word brother and coming out of the van going, "What are you little maniacs doing?" and having the fanny pouch on. And at the end of the day, there's probably a lot of people over there at Willowdale that would hope that I would end up wrestling in high schools, and there's nothing wrong with it, But that's when you're struggling and fighting, and anything's possible, brother. But you know what, dude? If I end up wrestling in high school so I can pay Charlie's insurance or pay for the bills, brother, I'm going to do it with my head held high, because there's no shame in working hard. But a lot of my friends that put 30 years in the wrestling business are struggling right now with this economy, and they're wrestling in high schools and doing anything they can to make a living. So it is what it is, brother.
Out of all your boys, man, all the guys that you worked with, all your boys, which one's hurting the most right now, buddy?
Right now,
how's Hammer doing? Is Greg all right?
Greg's doing pretty good. I think Knobs is probably hurting the most right now, because he's pretty beat up, and he can't go running hard on the weekend, so he's scrambling a little bit.
Is Knobsy gonna be okay?
Dude, I pray to God he is. We're all just trying to make it. It's amazing, with the things the way they are, everybody hanging on, that the economy doesn't affect Willowdale, brother.
Now, call me crazy, but I don't even know if he's been on this yet. But has Knobsy looked into being on The Biggest Loser or something like that?
I don't know. He was going to go on Celebrity Fit Club.
Yeah, to me,
that'd be a good one.
That would be like a really great thing for him, because he does need to drop some weight, man. He's
getting big.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't pick the show back up, so I don't know what's happening. But he just came back from Kuwait. He went over there, and him and Jimmy Hart and Greg the Hammer went over there, and they did a week tour for all the guys over there. And he said it really cheered him up and cheered all the guys up, because Knobs gets over there and get crazy. And he says, "I'm not an alcoholic. I had no alcohol for 13 days, and I didn't have the DTs or the sweats or the shakes, so I know I'm okay." So I beg to differ with that.
Well, I don't want Knobsy. Knobsy. I don't want Knobsy to end up dead. I love the guy. I love him a lot. He's a great guy, one of our boys, and I'm worried about Knobsy.
Well, he's doing pretty good, brother. But I ran into Gary Smith, and he's working on some art. Stuff looks crazy. I'd love to come in one day.
Well, we can schedule him now, and we might have him by the turn of the century.
Yeah, well, I've just got to see what my schedule is. I got attorneys in town all week, and Team Linda's doing their best they can to destroy. And
now let me ask you a question. A lot of people ask me to ask you this question, and that is, let's say the Graziano thing gets settled. Let's say the Linda thing gets settled. You don't got anything left. It's done. You're doing nothing. You have your beach house. You got your girlfriend. You got your car, and you got your name. If you don't got all these hanger-oners that you owe money to, based on settlements and stuff, and you're clean, you got a clean slate. It's say, 1 year from now, 18 months from now, you got a clean slate. It's done. Now you're only responsible for yourself. What does Hulk Hogan do next?
Come put an application in at Bubba Radio Network.
He really wants to bring I can never do this to him. He wants to be an intern. He wants to come in and take a wiffle ball bat.
I want Gene Laster's spot.
Well, there was no spot really to be had, but no. What's next? Do you get back into wrestling? Has Vince talked to you? Do you do movies? Do you do endorsements? What do you do?
everybody thinks, especially Linda's lawyers, they think that I'm going to jump back in the ring and wrestle till I'm 75. I'm 50. Well, I'm actually going to be 56 years old here really soon. And dude, I got to get, I got the knee replaced and the hip replaced, and just had my back cut on, which isn't fixed. It's a temporary fix for right now. We don't know how long it's going to hold up. I'm trying to get my elbows cleaned up so I can straighten my arms out. But I got to go back and get my knees done. I can't bend my knees, so I can't see me jumping back in the ring and wrestling for 20 years, to try to maintain this false lifestyle that Linda, swears she needs to live.
Well, I think for one, Hogan, personal opinion, I think a book is on the horizon. Not a book, no offense, but
not a fluff job.
Not the one you did last time. I mean, I from what I understand, I think Vince had a little maybe creative control over it, but like just a real, true life story.
A shoot.
Because your story, I mean, when you come on the air and you just talk about your old wrestling stories and just you being you,
well,
you've got some of the greatest stories.
I don't want to do the tell-all book. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a time where everybody's, there's so much of the kayfabe stuff that everybody knows about. Everybody's smart enough.
No, but just your life.
Just your life.
But the real story that, because of how many people that are down and out, the real story is, for me, having this tremendous career in the family and for it all being destroyed, the real story is how I'm getting through it. Mm-hmm. And what I'm doing right now to keep going, because a lot of people figure I would have defected or done some crazy stuff right now, or I'd have been on death row with Charles Manson or something. But for me to have this crazy attitude where everything's all right already, and I'm going to keep moving on, I think that's the story that people need to hear now.
I think you could write a book just about the various, half a dozen to 8 things that you've overcome in your life, from your brother, from your brother's death to your father's death to the steroid scandal to the federal indictment to the to the Minneapolis situation to the divorce to the Graziano and the Nick deal. I mean, there's 8 right now, and I know that I'm missing a few. Just the things that you've overcome. That's not kayfabe on anything but yourself. That's stooge. I mean, that's telling on yourself. And I think that people would be amazed if they really knew the things that you've had to work through, all while keeping your head above water and still working and keeping a good attitude in order to, pay for this insatiable lifestyle that your wife had.
Well, at the end of the day, you're right. But, everybody thinks that, that this war is between me and Linda. It's only a one-sided war, brother. I mean, I tell Nick and Brooke all the time, I'll unconditionally love your mother forever. I don't hate her. If she tells people I've got, text messages from her, she tells me that she hates me, sends me text messages. If you hate somebody, it means you never loved them. If you love someone, it's a pure feeling. It'll never change no matter what. They can be a serial killer. They can go out and do all kind of stuff, and you'll always love that person. And it's not a two-sided war. It's an only one-sided war. I wish I could be Linda's friend and help her. I wish I could, go and watch Brooke perform, standing side by side, laughing and having a beer with her. It's not, we just aren't married. It's just that,
well, but
she's moved on in her life.
At the end of the day,
this whole thing that the lawyers have her stirred up, that she's supposed to hate and destroy and screw everything up. It's like she's just going to attract more of that same crap into her lifestyle going down that road. And I feel bad for her. I just pray to God that, she gets happy.
And haven't you said, hey, listen, man, this isn't about money. You can have it all. Have it all. I don't want anything.
Well, I need something to live on. Good God.
No,
brother.
but didn't you say, hey, I want a house and give me a little bit of something? You can have it all. You can have the house that's worth $8 million, whatever. And Willowdale, you can have it all. What you have the biggest issue with right now is that she continues to ask for over 50% of your earnings after you guys are officially divorced. That's what you get the biggest problem.
I don't know where we're going with that, but I don't know how much I'm going to make. It's my ability to pay.
So, Brett, she doesn't even want.
If I have a great month, great. But if I don't make any money this month, I can't. That's what the judge needs to understand. It's my body's screwed up. I can't be the main event wrestler anymore. If I get a job with a Bubba Radio Network, or if I get a chance to, go do a personal appearance, or if I'm security guard at Walmart, it's my ability to pay. And I'm trying to help her because I know her family's in California. I know she needs a ton of money to make that move out there. It's expensive out there.
You mean the family that
lawyers eat up every single dime? Then the only money she's going to have is the money I can give her each month.
You mean
depending on what I can give her, and at the end of the day, I mean, if I don't have a job for like 6 months, like the last time I worked was Celebrity Championship Wrestling. I made some money last year, but I haven't made a dime since. So at the end of the day, well, I got the Brooke Hogan money coming from Brooke knows best at that. I haven't been paid that yet.
Yeah.
But, it's going to get to the point where instead of having a big opportunity for her to start up and keep rolling, the right way, it's going to be piecemealed out, and it's just going to be a pain in the butt for forever. So whatever. But whatever, it's going to be fine whichever way it goes. I just wish somebody, would nobody can get to her. It doesn't matter anyway. It's going to be fine.
Manson, can you believe you and Donna get a divorce tomorrow? You give her 50, you give her all of it, whatever. Okay, but then she gets half of your Bubba Radio Network pay for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
I mean,
that would suck.
I mean, I don't get it. Oh, I don't get it. And you speak of the California family. You mean the California family that you've supported for 23 years, and the house that you bought, and the cars that you've given, and the brother that was the general contractor on your house here and made $1 million bucks. You mean that family?
Well, she wants to get out there. Her mom and her dad and her brother and her sister. Everybody's out there, and all of her nieces and cousins, and she can take Charlie out there. But I don't know how it's going to go, bro. I'm just trying to get through another day here, and just stay happy, and that's all that matters, bro. That's the way it is.
All right, Hootie, man. We love you, buddy.
Oh, I love you guys, man, but I still need a job at the Bubba Radio Network.
What are you going to do?
I don't know.
I'll put him in the fart
early
bucket
every morning and quit staying up watching TV and eating ice cream. I need to get up early every morning, and then that way, after I get up early, I'll get on that schedule that you're on, because, you're up rolling at 5 in the morning every day. Then I could train at the Clem Gym every day.
You got to see the
new
Clem.
Then I can get all the free perks like 50 Cent gets, and go to all the concerts free and go hang out.
Yeah.
Well,
see, he does got it dialed in. He knows how it works. He knows the inner workings of it.
He's all over the place.
And you got to see. I got to get you we got a new Clem Gym shirt. We got a new Clem Gym T-shirt. You've got to see it. And it's only for those that ever worked out there, though. So you've got to see it.
I got to show you the artwork Gary Smith did, man. It's off the chain.
All right, my man. Hey, listen, I got to go.
Yo, thanks. Bye.
Bye.